Final Fantasy Tactics has long been heralded as not only the best tactical RPG ever made, but one of the greatest games of all time. Its blend of deep tactical gameplay, incredible storytelling, and masterful soundtrack are simply timeless. Nearly 30 years later, Square Enix has finally released the game on modern platforms dubbed the Ivalice Chronicles. This remastered version retains what made the original a masterpiece and includes a number of incredible quality of life additions. To call this game a remaster though doesn't do it justice, as it almost feels like a brand new game, further cementing Final Fantasy Tactics' legacy as one of the all-time greats.
They sing your praise from on high. You do honor to our name, my brother, and to me.
The story remains unchanged, although now it's fully voiced in English. For the uninitiated, Final Fantasy Tactics tells an intricate tale of political machinations. With the rightful heir to the throne unclear, two warring states vie for power in what the game calls the War of the Lions. The story has so many twists, turns, and unexpected deaths that you'll never know what's going to happen next. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you'll feel right at home here. There are so many politicians being puppeted from the shadows and backdoor shady dealings going on that it can be tough at times to keep up with what's going on. Thankfully, with the addition of voice acting, it feels easier to follow than ever before. That said, the game can feel like it's trying to write sonnets rather than straightforward dialogue, but in my opinion, this only adds to the world building and immersion.
Machines whose fires have long since guttered out lie strewn in the tunnels beneath the city. But pass such a stone near them, and you can hear them stir.
While Final Fantasy Tactics does provide a variety of perspectives throughout the story, it's mostly told from the perspective of Ramza Beowulf. He's the youngest brother of a highborn family, however his older brothers don't exactly see it that way. While he shares the same father, his mother was a commoner and they never fail to remind him of that. Despite this, Ramza always keeps his head held high and tries to do the right thing. His mix of naivete and sense of justice make him an easy protagonist to root for. While the Ivalice Chronicles was built on the bones of the original 1997 release, meaning the animated cutscenes from the War of the Lions version have been removed, the story is still as strong as ever. The incredible voice performances really carry the game to new heights, making this the best way to experience Final Fantasy Tactics. What also elevates this remaster above any other version are the numerous quality of life additions to gameplay.
Down with you!
In a lot of ways, the original Final Fantasy Tactics felt like you were playing blind. There was so much information that the game never told you that would seem baffling by today's standards. For example, when placing your troops, you would place them in this black void, completely unaware of where on the battlefield you would be deploying. Here in the Ivalice Chronicles, this, along with a number of other things, have been thankfully updated. When placing your troops, you can now see where on the battlefield you'll be placing them. If you're playing a random battle on a map you've already completed, you can even see where the enemies are. This is incredibly helpful and in hindsight is an amazing oversight in the original game. Now I can't sit here and list off every new feature, but here were a number of my favorites that were very noticeable and welcome to someone that's beat this game no fewer than 5 times. The game will now give you a notification if outfitters have new equipment and if new errands are available instead of having to go to check every single store after every single battle. You can now skip over or purposely fight in random battles. When looking at all potential jobs for a character, the game now tells you what the requirements are for those characters instead of just having to guess. Although by now you could just Google everything. You can also speed up battles by holding down R1 or the right bumper, making grinding way faster. And you can also leave multi-stage fights like Lionel and Ryovan's castle instead of possibly getting stuck there. All of these new features and more make an already incredible game absolutely amazing. Square Enix have obviously approached this remaster in a very thoughtful way and it shows. Any grievances I previously had are now gone. Oh, and don't worry, the infamous spell effects slowdown has been fixed as well. For those that are coming to Final Fantasy Tactics for the first time, wondering what makes this game so amazing, where do I even begin? Obviously, it's a tactical RPG in the vein of games like Fire Emblem and Disgaea. Battles take place in turn-based combat where you move your troops across squares trying to either defeat every enemy, a specific enemy, or reach a point on the map. The concept is simple, but what truly makes this game incredible is the deep customization. Several Final Fantasy games have had fantastic job systems, but in my opinion, the very best one has to be here in Final Fantasy Tactics. The game has 20 jobs ranging from beginner classes like the Squire and Chemist to more advanced ones like Ninjas and Dragoons. What makes this system so great is there are so many ways to mix and match abilities from different classes. You of course have one core job that when equipped accumulates job points. You can then spend said job points to unlock abilities. These can be for core abilities like say spells for a black mage, but there's also secondary abilities and this is really where the fun is. You can equip a secondary job, a reaction ability, a movement ability, and a sort of all-encompassing all-encompassing ability. For example, you could have a monk that uses items, with the reaction ability being counterattack and healing slightly whenever you move. This is just one of seemingly endless amount of combinations you can create. The true fun is experimenting to see what wild combinations you can come up with. I've been playing this game for decades, so I have my personal favorite setups, and I'm sure you'll find yours as well. Tactics also has some of the best map designs in any tactical RPG. Whether it's fun ways the game plays with terrain height, interesting enemy troop combinations, or scenarios like separating your troops, the game always keeps you on your toes. The Ivalice Chronicles version also offers a variety of difficulty options as well as the original 1997 version, so no matter your skill level, there should be a difficulty level that suits you. While I've grown to really love games like Fire Emblem over the last decade and have played the numerous iterations of Tactics Ogre, I still believe that nothing truly matches up to Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay. Its depth of customization and map designs are unrivaled, and this new Ivalice Chronicles edition polishes it to a fine sheen. Now, speaking of a fine sheen, one area where I did feel a little disappointed was the presentation.
Forgive me, Lord Brother.
While the Ivalice Chronicles does spruce up quite a lot of the game to make it look nicer, what doesn't look so nice are the actual in-game visuals. The pixel art has been smoothed out and, at least on PlayStation 5, have this weird grainy look to them. It doesn't look horrible, but considering all the work that went into this remaster, it doesn't look great either. From what I understand, Square Enix essentially built this game from scratch since they didn't have the original source code. It's a miracle that we even have this game at all, but I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't share my disappointment with the visuals. That all said, Square Enix have done a wonderful job adding a number of fantastic visual overhauls in other areas. The menus and user interface have been completely redesigned, looking incredibly sharp and feeling very intuitive to navigate. The world map has also been redrawn with new icons and looks fantastic. There's also a small but powerful addition to character portraits. Their mouths now move during dialogue sequences. Again, not a huge change, but this really adds to the immersion and believability of the characters. While I would call the voice acting an absolute win overall, longtime fans will lament the loss of the epic death screams. In the original versions, whenever characters died in battle, they let out these iconic screams. Now they've been replaced with these sort of dying last words that, while more fitting overall, are not nearly as fun or iconic.
Oh no, Richie!
The music has been beautifully remastered to modern audio quality. While games like Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 have been heralded for their incredible scores, I feel like Tactics has been criminally slept on over the years. There's incredibly powerful pieces from the opening movie, various battle themes, all the way to the end credits. It's an incredible soundtrack overall and deserves more praise than it's received. Final Fantasy Tactics was already one of the greatest games of all time, and the Ivalice Chronicles elevates it to even greater heights. There are incredible quality of life updates to gameplay, redesigned menus, and for the first time, fully voiced in English. This is no simple up-res remaster, but rather an incredibly thoughtful overhaul of the game. Whether you're like me and have beat this game countless times, or are coming to it for the very first time, the Ivalice Chronicles is without question the best way to experience Final Fantasy Tactics. And at the modest asking price of only $50, I feel like it's worth every penny and more. Now, if you like this and want more Final Fantasy Tactics content, watch this video next where I rank every single job in the game.